I tell you about the next guest here, I want to say three things. Mr. Universe, Mr. World, Mr. America. Who could I be talking about? The one and only Mr. Mike Sable. Mike the Zipper Sable is here with us today. So I want to thank you, Mike, for being here. I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you very much, Levi. It's good to be back here with you, and you're a very special friend. I love you dearly, and
Thank you.
God bless you for bringing me here.
Well, thank you.
I like the lead in where it talks about being a champion, and we're all champions in life.
Absolutely.
We all are, and when you put yourself there and you see yourself there, then you become a better person.
Absolutely.
You are a champion. Everybody has everybody has something special, and it's a matter of sharing that and giving back. And not limiting yourself on a basis where spiritually and mentally, emotionally, and physically, you're empty in one of those areas. You have to be balanced spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically.
Yes.
And then that's what you preach.
And also, that's what we live. We live a life of balance and moderation, and letting people know that it's about spirituality, but it's also about physical fitness and well-being.
Right. And the thing is, you talk about the balance. I mean, champions in life know when to go to extremes.
Yes.
They know when to back off. And that's what keeps them in the game. Otherwise, what you do is you just burn yourself out in life.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's where people end up with a lot of alcohol, a lot of drugs, because they basically become burned out. They look for an escape.
Right.
And what are you escaping? You're escaping life. You're
Absolutely.
escaping who you are. You're escaping your purpose.
Right.
And that's the sad thing out there when you see what's going on.
Of course.
Yeah, but again, we have a choice.
Absolutely. And choice is up to us to decide what we're going to do with our lives and how we're going to live in the certainty and the genuineness of our purpose.
Well, the thing is, people live in fear. Fear is an emotion, and you have a choice to make.
Absolutely.
If we live in emotion, we got a problem.
Yes, we do. We have a big problem.
I mean, I feel that there's so much more of a purpose to share. I spent 22 years competing in my sport, became the best in my sport, and that wasn't a vehicle for me to tell people how wonderful I am. That's a vehicle to actually go out and help to change other people's lives and give back.
And to live, you lived it. You see, the key that what I love about talking with you and I love about your life is that you really have embodied the essence of a lifestyle of fitness and health. When you look at your life, Michael, what do you see as your staying points for longevity in this career? What has helped you to stay focused to live like this?
Well, I think that anything. My grandmother told me when I was a little boy, and my grandmother raised me. She was the oldest of 13 sisters and brothers, and she raised me by myself.
That was a small family.
Small family. So my grandmother was the oldest. So
Right.
she raised 13 kids. So I didn't get away with much.
Right.
There was times I really despised her, but then I realized in the end that the lessons she taught me, the discipline and commitment she taught me, even though I hated it that time,
Yes.
was what elevated me to a point where I could become a world champion at what I do. And I still think that way. I believe a success formula, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, is the same. If you have a success formula in business, use that same formula. It doesn't change. It doesn't change. Success formula is a success formula.
Absolutely.
And if you can find that balance and apply it to all aspects of your life, you're going to be fine. So I think what's kept me going is, obviously making a change in myself.
Yes.
Motivates me.
Yes.
And people talk about, I do a lot of motivational speaking, quote unquote motivational speaking. You know that. And we're going to be doing some stuff together.
Yes, we will.
I know that.
Yes.
So you look at that, you're not really a motivational speaker. You're an inspirational speaker, and motivation comes from you. It doesn't come from me.
True.
It doesn't come from me. So it has a change in your belief patterns, changing how you're looking at life. If you look at things differently, the things you look at will be different.
Absolutely. It's all about perspective.
Yeah, it's perspective.
Yes,
it's perspective. And I think what's kept me going is being able to make it, after retiring and achieving the greatness that I wanted in my sport.
Right.
And it taught me to continue wanting to achieve greatness in life by helping other people to better their lives. My grandmother told me, if you make a difference in one person's life, you're a successful man. When she passed away, she said you'd made a difference in thousands.
Absolutely. And that's what you want to do.
Exactly.
What about what about the clients that you have right now? What are the top 5 things that you try to pass on to them to keep them motivated, to keep them healthy, to keep them on the right diets? What do you do to them to help on that?
Well, I think it's a matter of changing their subconscious mind. The subconscious mind takes in good and bad and doesn't differentiate between it. Mm-hmm. Bad comes in, it says cool. Good comes in, it goes cool.
Right.
It doesn't differentiate. So you make the choices. I try to teach them to make better choices, right, and to pay more attention to what they're doing. And if they're coming to me, they're spending the money to spend with me, and you have goals, what part of your goal do you not want to Do you just want to give me money?
Right. Or do you want to achieve
So
your
I
goals?
try to teach them what I've learned. I try to give back to them what comes from the heart. It's not, I mean, I have my background and my degrees in nutrition and kinesiology, but that's not the key. The key is, how do I portray that to them?
Yes.
And how do I make them believe? And I think the representation, by me representing and staying in shape and doing what I've done for this many years, that's why they come to me.
Absolutely.
That's why they come to me. So it's a matter of sharing that and making that. I have to give them what I felt at that time to achieve greatness, so they can achieve greatness in their lives.
Of course.
And my client base now, we just had a competition a couple of weeks ago, the California State Championships. I had 3 girls in the show.
Just fantastic. How did they do? How did the ladies you trained do?
Understand that none of them had ever competed before until this year. And my young girl, Courtney Moran, took 3rd place in the women's bikini with like 45 competitors.
Wow.
And this is the state championship.
Yes.
My over 60-year-old lady, Jan Love, took 3rd in the Masters over 50. She's almost 61 years old. She's amazing. I mean, these are amazing people. Right. And then Brigitte Berg, my over 45 competitor, won the state championships, the overall, and her class. So we had 3 women out of about 250, and they're all in the top. They're all champions. But being a champion doesn't mean you need to win a trophy.
No.
Being a champion means you need to follow through.
Absolutely.
You need to set a goal and go.
Yes.
Not just set a goal and say, well, I will means maybe you won't.
No.
When you put yourself in the I am, you're
am.
On.
Right.
Yeah, I am is God.
Yes, it is.
You're saying, hey, I am, and you put yourself there, and people say, well, I set my little goals. Okay, set your little goals. That means you'll probably give up along that road. Right. What I do is I look at the big goal and go there.
Absolutely. And you become the goal.
You become the goal. You are the goal already.
Absolutely.
You are the goal, and all you're doing is just going down the road to get there.
Absolutely.
And the journey is great. I mean, my journey is about bettering other people's lives, making them feel healthy, making them feel better. Yes. And creating that belief. And on that road too, we run into obstacles. There's people that I help even now today.
Of course.
That will move on. I will give them what I can give them. They will move on to something else. That's okay.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
That means you've taught them the lesson that they're supposed to get from you.
Right.
And hopefully they've taught you a lesson also.
Oh, absolutely.
What are the greatest blocks that you think people have when it comes to working out consistently? What do you think is the number one thing that stops people? Like, I often think it's time, that people give the excuse of not having time. Right. But I let people know you create time. Time doesn't create you. You create time for yourself. You make time work for yourself.
Right.
What do you think are the number one blocks for people?
Well, I mean, the association factors. I mean, the association factors you have in your mind is directly what's correlated to how you respond to things in life.
Absolutely.
They associate it with pain. They associate it with taking away time. I don't have the time. Right. But I have a saying, people have excuses. They have reasons for their excuses and excuses for their reasons.
Absolutely.
And that's why you don't succeed in life.
Absolutely.
And there's a very, very big fear of commitment and success. It's success. I mean, fear of failure and fear of success is the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the same thing. And people don't know how to handle success. Some people you see athletes, they make millions of dollars and they're broke.
Yeah.
Doctors that have been world and they're nothing.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know them.
You know, yes, you know them.
Right.
So you look and go like this. How along that road did you not get the lesson, or how along that road did you make that mistake? But again, people sometimes just don't understand how to handle success.
They don't.
People win the lottery and they're broke.
They're broke, exactly.
You know. So I mean, it's a matter of start to look at within yourself and find out what is causing you to do that.
Yes. What
is causing you to just destroy anything that becomes good in your life? Because that's what you're used to.
Right.
You're not used to success. When success hits you and you become successful, you're still, your natural tendency in that subconscious mind has been programmed all your life is to go right back to where you were.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So if you live in a place of I am success, I am a champion, I am of service. If you live in the I am, then you get the I am.
Well, the I am is God.
Absolutely.
Now you're an extension of God, and God is there for you.
Absolutely.
Be part of Him. Don't be part of what they say.
Because they never matter.
Who the hell are they?
Who are they?
You know, I mean, I want to meet with they.
I will always they.
You know, people say, well, they say, and the greatest thing, like I'll be teaching somebody something, they'll look and go, this guy's a 3-time world champion, you know, and he was known for his leg development. And say, Mike, what should I do on legs? And I'll tell them, and they'll go like this. Well, I read in the magazine.
Right.
Okay, well, if you read it in the magazine,
the magazine
that's a great thing. You know, but when I was a little boy, my grandfather said to me, don't believe anything you read and believe half of what you see.
Half what you see, exactly.
You know, I mean, and that's just reality. I mean, it's getting beyond those barriers, but we've been programmed so long, and now you got the baby boomer generation that's going like this. can I really get back a few years that I lost back in the 60s and 70s from drugs, alcohol, and doing all the crazy stuff I did and didn't care?
Right.
And all of a sudden you care. Well, hey, step up. Step
Yeah.
up. Are you going to get back those years? I don't know, but I'd sure try. I can't guarantee you that.
Exactly.
I mean, I ain't that guy. That guy's up there.
Right.
You know, but I think you should try.
Right.
You know, I mean, I just started with an awesome lady, and she called me. She said to me, you know, Mike, I'm 100 pounds overweight. I got to do this. I had a beautiful little girl and her partner and everything. Says, I can't do this anymore. She started with me 3 weeks ago. Okay. She's already down 10 pounds.
Which is excellent.
She's excited. Now her partner wants to be involved
Which
with
is
her.
great.
And you know, I'm looking, I'm going like this. That's what it's about.
Yes, it is.
And she's so motivated. And she comes in and she works hard. You know, and this woman is, in a year from now, that 100 pounds will be gone. But I want to talk about somebody very close to me.
Right.
And somebody you know.
Right.
And guess what? Our producer over here, you haven't seen her before pictures because she never told you. Katrina, since you last saw her, is down 80 pounds.
Really?
Now, Katrina's my girlfriend, the love of my life. I mean, ladies in my life.
She's wonderful.
Yeah, that supports me, and how she does that, I don't know. But, you know, and her eyesight can't be that bad because she has to look at me. But she's actually come down.
80 pounds.
No, since 2006, she weighed 340.
She looks fantastic, though.
Levi, did you show Levi the pictures of that?
No, I have to see that.
Yeah, I have to see. She's come down from 340. She's down to about 145, 150 now, and we're getting ready to go over to Poland to do a big seminar and judge their Biggest Loser competition. They've invited me over this year.
That's fantastic.
And she is going to be down another 20 pounds by then.
Wow.
So you're talking from 340 to 130 pounds.
We have to have her on the show.
And you know, and yeah, we got to bring her on. Got to bring her on because it's got to blow your mind.
Yeah,
I know you haven't seen her.
I haven't seen it. No.
And you know, and we got pictures. You'll see them. And you know, and I'm working very, very closely. With Dr. Dean Tornabene. And he actually has formulated products for some of the bigger companies, GNC, Herbalife. He's a formulator.
Yes.
He also formulated a lot of nutritional products for NASA. So this is not a nobody. This is somebody who's very, very world renowned. He's an ex-professional bodybuilder, a world champion in bodybuilding.
How's he doing? Because I haven't talked to him for a while.
He's doing amazing, and we're starting a marketing campaign right now.
Great.
With the same people that market Proactive and some of the bigger products.
Fantastic.
And our product is Thermal Sculpt.
Well, tell me about that.
Thermal Sculpt is different than you have quote unquote weight loss products out there.
Of course.
And they took the ephedrine products off the market because they wreak havoc on your adrenal glands. They wreak havoc on your body. And anytime you jack your system up, be it with amphetamines or anything, did you ever look at somebody that's on speed? They're thin as a rail. It burns up muscle tissue.
Of course it does.
It burns up muscle tissue. And if you're trying to get lean and you're using speed, it isn't going to work. You're going to burn up muscle tissue. And really what you're going to end up with is a real skinny version of a fat person. You know? And so, I mean, that's what happens. I mean, you look at anorexics.
Yes.
These people that go that far down, those are emotional problems. They're not necessarily eating problems. But when they are down, they're actually clinically obese when they're thin as a rail. Because they're not morbidly obese because you don't see it, but they're clinically obese because what's left is fat. The muscle's gone.
Not healthy tissue. So how does Thermal Sculpt now differ from other things on the market? Because you know our market in healthcare and fitness is flooded with billion plus dollar industry of so many types of formulas for weight loss, for looking thin, losing belly fat, for getting striated and cut. I mean, everything is flooded.
Right.
So when you talk about Thermal Sculpt, what in that formulation makes it superior to other things that we have on the market? Okay,
well, you know what we have on the market, and a lot of we have some of the fat burning components, but what the Thermal Sculpt does is actually enhances the endocrine system.
Okay.
So it makes
through which mechanism now? How does it do that? Through
it enhances it makes everything in the body hormonally and
balance.
Yeah, gets it more in balance. Okay. Enhances, gives you a better feeling and well-being. It has the fat burning properties. Yet you don't get that jittery, jacked up feeling.
Yes.
You burn body fat. I've been on 2 years. That's what Katrina lost 80 pounds on the last year.
That's pretty amazing.
And and you feel good. You sleep fine.
Right.
So this is the first time Dean's formulated products for over 30 years.
Right.
This is the first time he's put his name on the product designed by Dean.
Has no amphetamine in that. Has no.
No amphetamines or anything. I mean, you're going to look. You're going to realize. You read on the internet, they'll talk about certain ingredients in the product.
Of course.
Okay. Well, other companies don't want you to
know what's
they
in
write they write articles
Absolutely.
on it. But everything in here is our product is made in an FDA lab. So
everything's
legit.
Correct.
You know, we're going worldwide with it. It's been a lot of hard work. on Dean's behalf, but I've been on it
But
2
a
years.
lot of
I
hard
feel-
work on your behalf also.
Oh, yeah,
because
we
you've
were-
been a real staunch supporter of Dean Turnbennett. You've been a real staunch supporter of Thermosculpt, and you've been really very active with respect to promoting that product. You really have. Actually using it yourself and using it with your clients.
Yeah.
So you've been Dean Turnbennett is really fortunate to have someone like you in his camp who is not only a world-class bodybuilder, athlete, motivational and aspirational speaker like yourself, but someone who is really living the message.
Well, I think that's important. I appreciate those
Oh, true.
compliments, and I like to think that's true,
Right,
and
it is,
yeah,
it is.
and I do. And over the years, I mean, I've had some big sponsors over the years when I was competing. Nike sponsored me, some of the big companies in the world,
course.
and Dean, I've had nutritional companies come to me for years, even today.
course.
The only products I've ever backed or endorsed, and I use them,
Right.
and all my clients use them with great results, is the Thermosculpt.
Right, period.
And period. Dean's products I back because I know they work. I know the research that he does. I know how hard he works on it, and I know how dedicated he is to this cause.
Right.
You know, and his dedication is to make a difference in other people's lives, make them feel better,
Right.
make them function better,
Yes.
get them out of these depressed modes. And the new product is as Thermosculpt with a product called Extreme Focus in it, and it's amazing because you feel great all day long.
Right.
But it doesn't jack your system. You can relax. You can take a nap, but you feel good. It suppresses the appetite, but doesn't get to the point where you're suppressed where you can't eat.
Yes.
That's unhealthy as can be.
Of course it
You
is.
know, I eat 6 times a day.
Now, can
you
it
know?
be used by people who have like diabetes or things like that with endocrine problems? It can be used by anyone?
Well, we have people with diabetes on it that are feeling much better with it,
Okay.
that are having less problems with insulin.
Great.
You know, because again, it's enhancing the system. It's making it work better. I mean, we always tell you if you have a medical problem to check with your
Oh, absolutely.
your
Consult
doctor.
with your physician,
But we've had very
of
few
course.
doctors say anything against it.
Really?
As a matter of fact, we have a lot of doctors that are using it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know, for me, I think with Thermoscope, as I've talked to Dean before about being a supporter of Thermoscope.
Right.
I think it's so important to have things on the market that, number one, are safe, number two, are effective, and number three, will give you what you believe you're paying for.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's very, very important. So I look forward to actually talking with Dean more about Thermosculpt.
Well, it's funny because I was talking with Dean this morning. He said we should do a show together, all of us.
That
all
would
of
be a
us.
great thing.
That
would
would
be a
we
great
should all do a show together. You know, that would be as crazy as can be.
Yeah, he's
he's
Dean
a fun one.
Turnbennett, I got to tell you guys, is a really nice guy, a real entrepreneurial, iconic thinker, really good person. And he's been a long-term friend of Mike Sable. I mean, you guys been friends for what, 20, 30 years?
Over 30 years.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, long time.
You know,
Long
I
time.
have only one friend right now that we've been friends for. That's Sandra Hodge. You know what? I just thought about something. Got to make a quick break on something. Hey, you know what? Today is the birthday for Adele Hodge. Adele is one of the producers of the show. So for Adele, what I want to tell you is this. And for everyone who doesn't want to hear, I say right now, you're going to hear a lot of screeching right now. Turn off your earphones, step away from the radio, step away from your internet screen. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Adele. Happy birthday to you. Sorry, I know that was horrible, but I had to do that. Adele, we love and appreciate you. Hope you received the flowers I sent. And happy, I think this is your 21st birthday again. Enjoy.
The voice will be looking for you.
Oh, the voice will be looking.
voice
It won't be
will be
looking for me.
you.
It won't be looking- So I have to tell you guys again, having Mike Sable on is really such a blessing and just a gift. He really is someone who lives and walks the talk of fitness. When my book first came out, The Art of Fitness: A Journey to Self-Enhancement, I gave him a copy of the book, and we talked about the book just briefly. And he asked me, I'll never forget that dinner, he said, well, what do you think of the major things about fitness? I said, well, as I talked about in the book, commitment, consistency, diet, exercise, rest, and recovery. And he put his hand up. We slapped hands. He said, you got it, brother. So, and that was more than a year ago plus. So I want to tell you, Mike, I do appreciate your knowledge, your sincerity, your authenticity. And the truth of the message that you bring forth about thermosculpt, about the people that you train, but more importantly about the man that you are. That's the power.
Well, I appreciate that very, very much, and I say I want to give another shout out to Katrina because
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of times
we love you, Katrina.
we do love you, Katrina, and the bottom line is a lot of times, she knows, and that I don't expect, but I watch her,
Yes,
and I'm a coach
of course
as
you
well
are.
as in a relationship,
Right.
but I want to know how proud I am of her, what
That's
she's
great.
done, the achievements she made, because she not only did she lose the weight from 340 pounds down to 140, and she's going to go farther. She has a goal of competing, getting on a stage next year,
She'll be
and she's
fantastic.
going to do it, and
She's already a
and
champion.
yeah, and on top of that, her story will be all over the internet soon,
Absolutely.
and
Has to
you'll see that she had a very, very tough upbringing.
be. Yeah.
Very, very tough. Went through all of the terrible things that any woman could go through. Let me
Yes.
just put it that way. And when you read her story, it's very, very heartfelt. She's very genuine. She's an amazing lady, and it's amazing to have her in my life, and I love her dearly.
Well, you're very blessed to have her. I met Katrina. I have to tell you, you folks listening, she was so warm, so wonderful, so full of humor and life. And we talked about her daughter. Her daughter's this really gifted artist and illustrator. And she was so proud about her daughter. And she was so proud to talk about Mike also and her relationship with Mike. She was just one of these women that you meet, you just feel like you want to just sit there and just listen to them because her stories were, as Mike said so well, they were heartfelt and they were authentic. So Mike, you're gifted to have Katrina in your life.
Well,
You're blessed to have her. God has really given you someone to cherish.
and I know that, but we don't want to say that too much because she's gonna start expecting a lot of me now. But anyway, and I want to give you guys just a tiny bit more insight. Not only did she go through major struggles,
Yes.
but when I met her, she had actually lost 100 pounds, but doing it the wrong way, starving, this and that.
Yes.
Okay, and she went from a size 28 by the time I met her down to a 14, and she thought, "Wow, I'm really hot now." And when I met her, she goes, "Oh my God, this guy's Mr. Universe and Mr. America,
And Mr. World.
and Mr. World." And I didn't judge her. I didn't judge her, and that's the last thing I do. I don't judge people
Right.
on their bodies. And so she thought she was really hot. Then she said, "Well, I'm gonna get down to a 10," and she haphazardly did it, and she got to a 10.
Right.
Well, she started at 28.
Right.
Okay. Well, in the last year, she's gone from a 10 to a 2.
I bet
She's in a size 2.
Wow, that's just fantastic.
And so an amazing transition. And and when you read her story, I want people out to think that you can't do it. Success comes in cans, failure comes in cans.
Yes, it does.
So reality is you got to believe in yourself, because if she can make the change,
Everybody
you can make the change.
Absolutely.
Everybody can make the change.
It just means they have to be committed.
And they have to be committed, and they have to have somebody there that's going to teach them the
Who
proper
can
way.
guide them.
Right.
And again, as you said so well, it has to be proper guidance. It can't simply be reading any book. It has to be the right book, and it has to be the right trainer and professional on your side to help you achieve and then maintain the goal.
Absolutely. And and the thing is, I look at it and say, in life, in anything, I'm not an accountant. I go to an accountant for a reason. I'm not a
course.
doctor. If I need help and you've helped me
Yes,
over the
yes, I have.
years, I go to the doctor. You don't try to do things that you're not. My agent taught me years ago. He said, "Mike, always be the athlete.
Absolutely.
I'll be
That's
the
who
guy
you
that
are.
handles the rest of the stuff, because that's what I do."
Absolutely.
You
do it
don't
so
don't
well.
cross those lines.
Right.
And so I try to maintain that, and as long as I can better other people's lives as well as better my own,
You're doing
then,
the right thing.
and bettering other people's lives betters mine.
Yes.
Then
No, you're living it. You're living it right. You said something early that I thought about, and this comes to in my circle of friends. It comes up very often. You said when you met Katrina, you said, "Well, I just met her. I wasn't judging her." Have you noticed? And I see this often with my friends, even my closest friends. When we go out to dinner, for example, often they'll say, "Oh, I don't want to get that because I know you're going to think something about me, Levi." I'm not thinking about that at all. I'm just thinking about the friendship and being there. And I think so often people, if we are really fit and we live this life, they often, I think, believe that we want to propagate that fitness, and we do. We want them to know about it, but we don't want to push it on anyone. We want to preach the gospel, but not force feed that to anyone. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. I mean, if that's in religion and fitness and anything, we don't want to have somebody sit down there shoving it down our throats.
No.
We want to take what we can. And it doesn't mean everybody has to be a competitive bodybuilder.
Absolutely
Doesn't
not.
mean you have to go from 340 to 130. Doesn't mean that. It means you got to better yourself.
Right.
And we're not there to judge you.
Not at
We're
all.
there to help you. And
Yes.
the bottom line is, it's like I said, but the teacher will always be there when the student is ready.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to make the student come to me. I'm not going to go force somebody to come to me. I'm not going to belittle them, make them feel bad, because my accomplishments to some people are weird. and that's okay.
It's
But
okay.
my weirdness has also brought me greatness.
Exactly right.
So
whatever they are saying.
well, yeah, quote unquote. I think you and I got to have a meeting with they.
Right.
It's about time they show up here at the radio station. We want all of they here.
Exactly, all of they.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been blessed. I've been with Katrina almost 3 years now. Actually, it's 145 weeks today. That's our 145 week anniversary. And on
great.
Saturday we have another anniversary every week, and that's 145.43. So, but we've had a great time. She's been there for me, and I'm not the easiest guy to put up with.
Well,
I don't think either one of us are the easiest people in the world to put up with.
Right.
We've got our ideas,
But
and
it's
all
good
good.
that it works for you, and that you have this relationship that is one of balance and that is authentic and works for you and works for Katrina.
Absolutely, and we're able to go out and share. And I mean, she didn't realize, like, she would never show anybody real quickly before those before pictures.
Right. But
now she realized those before pictures are her biggest vehicle, and nobody's ever said anything bad.
Absolutely.
Nobody's ever said anything
testimony.
bad. It's a testimony, and they look and go like this. That's I can do this.
Right.
You know.
She gives hope to other people.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to tell you, when it comes to hope, Mike Sable is the embodiment of that. He's the embodiment of hope, of truth, of great work ethic, of commitment, of consistency, of really living it. So I want to thank Mike Sable. Thank you, Mike, for being with me today.
Thank you very much. And did I write anything else down that you just?
I want to tell you, Mike Sable did not pay me to say these things. I said them because I said them.
Checks in the mail.
He really is a great friend, a great person, and he is just the epitome of all those things I said. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today on the Dr. Levi Show.